Hanna Akilu has found comfort in a life erected in godliness, which she took from Islamia long ago, but also one that is now propelled by a Spartan resolve to play down the intrusion of self as she communicates to humanity around her. The chairperson of the Federal Medical Teaching Hospital in Katsina, in Nigeria's northwest, was taught a hard lesson early in life by a purposely strict father. She has never forgotten the incident.
We need to retrain ourselves to bring up children that have respect, and we need to bring up, like my father said to me once, I've said this story many times, but I'll say it again. We had a fight with one of our Islamic teacher's son, who was, the Islamic teacher was living with us, but they were living in the boys' quarters. So we used to play together, and then one day we were playing in front of the house, and there was this big mango tree just in front of the house, and we had this fight, and I don't know what it was about, but we were on the tree. I remember that. But we had this fight, and I told him to go back to his own side of the house, that he couldn't stay on that side, that he should go to the back. So I sent him off. And my father was sitting in the living room, and the window was just overlooking the drive, and the tree was behind the drive. So he didn't say anything. So I came in through the front door, and he was sitting in the living room, and he called me. And I thought it was just one. So when it's not being, when I'm not going to be told off, you know, I usually sit on the arm of the chair. So I didn't think he was, because he didn't have that mane on his face that he was going to tell me off. So I sat on the arm of his chair, and he asked me, he said to me that, is this your house? And he said to me that, look, I want you to know that this house belongs to me. And my achievement is my achievement, not yours. So if you want to show off, you should wait when you grow up and you're something, then you can show off with who you are. And that thing has stuck to me. So even when people, you know, try to say, oh, you know, she's so-so-and-so's daughter, I'm always saying that, no. Allow people to know who I am. Because I want to be recognized for who I am. Yes, I'm proud of my father, but I also want to know that I have made my own input. So, you know, we need to bring children up with that kind of mentality.
It was a salvo from a realistic father, but Hanna too did not feel put down. Hajiya Hanna, as her father called her, says after one picks up religious injunctions, anything that the individual does after that is a matter of choice.
So if you decide this is what I want to be, then you work towards being that person that you want to be. So that's what I'm saying, you know. So it's like you decide you want a university degree. So you have to go to college, and then you have to go to university, and you have to study and to attain that degree. So it's the same process, you know. If you decide that, okay, religion forbids you doing this, and you're in a situation where temptation is there. So you have to make that choice. What do I want to be? Do I want to go above, or do I want to be below? So if you decide that you want to go below, then you don't have to fight. You don't have anything to do, you know, you just let go. So there are no challenges. But if you decide, no, I'm going to go above this, then you have to work hard, which was what you did, and you rose above that. And you felt good about it, because, so that feeling good is your degree.
True to her belief in early creed, an imam was on the premises to help the young start a life counseled by faith so that their adult years could be anchored in truth to self and gratitude to God. Hajia Hannatu insists that when an individual is raised in true worship, at a stage they can no longer separate self from the way of life which faith has inculcated in them.
We had to go to Islamia. It was just on the same street, and I remember we used to just walk there, and it wasn't really any big deal. It was just something that was natural that you just had to do.
While she blames elderly persons for not showing good values, she is not happy that the child's character is no longer a product of community input.
Once upon a time, we used to have what was called, I'm ashamed to come out and do this thing. But now we don't have shame. You can just practically do whatever you want to do. There's no shame attached to anything. You can just be, if you want to be an idiot, you can be an idiot. Everybody was responsible for bringing me up. So if our neighbors or my father's friend came and told me off, I wouldn't go and tell my dad and expect my dad to side me. In fact, I wouldn't even want my dad to know that I'd been scolded by his friend. And then if I went to school and I misbehaved and the teacher punished me, I wouldn't come back and tell at home that I was punished, because I knew that I would be punished again. You understand? Because the teacher had the responsibility of being a parent, which is all these values we've lost. So, we bring up children with no responsibility, and then we bring up children with a sense of entitlement because they are so-and-so's son or daughter.
And it is not as if Hajia Hannatu was born into a struggling family. Her circumstance of birth was reasonably impressive by strict social standards.
My father was a secretary to the premier, but I never knew how important he was till after he had died. And even then, I didn't know that that position was something that I could use till after maybe my 20s.
Because you were not thinking like that.
Yeah, but no, I was not brought up to think like that. It's not that I wasn't thinking. I wasn't brought up to think like that. My parents never brought me up to think that my father's position or what we had in the house was something that was a feather that I could wear. It wasn't my feather, it was his feather.
One of her daughters did say to her one day that some individuals felt she, Hannatu, was not getting certain things because she was not bending to certain things. Hajia's response was swift.
I've made my own choice who I want to be and how I want to be. So it's left for you now to make your own decision. Do you want to have a mother who's a thief? Or do you want to have a mother who is not a thief?
Hajia Hannatu says anyone who makes an attempt to bribe her could well be punching a brick wall. It's not just that Islamia has predisposed her against such vice, it just doesn't add up to normal reasoning. Hajia Hannatu is not happy about the curve society seems to have spiraled into.
Where we've gone wrong is that we've brought up a whole generation, or 2 generations actually, or 3 even. For me, it's about 3 generations now, because I have my children, I have grandchildren, and I have great-grandchildren. So for me, it's 3 generations that we've brought up with this sense of entitlement, with this sense of irresponsibility. They can just do anything and get away with it. And we brought them up not knowing who they are. They're neither Nigerians nor Africans. They're just there,
Religious leader and co-chair of Women of Faith Peace Building Network, Hajia Mariam Dada Ibrahim, sent her summation of Hajia Hannatu's character.
Hajia Hannatu is a humble Muslim whose Islamia upbringing has taken her into an adult life of integrity. She shuns corruption like a plague and advises you that your life is largely dependent on your choices. She wants young persons to desist from a feeling of entitlement and work to become whatever they want to be. Hannatu is a great woman of integrity.
This woman of peculiar yet down-to-earth philosophy is appreciated by yet another individual. Hajia Hannatu's life has not too surprisingly left a lasting impression on her son, Sanusi Ibrahim.
And noble qualities of truthfulness, of trustworthiness, of kindness, of forbearance. It might interest you to know that Mama has been standing and speaking boldly and solidly for the exploited and downtrodden masses of Nigeria. These qualities are what every human being, every society would like to see being inculcated in the youth, particularly of today's generation.
When I asked how she responded to those who might